Pakistan is still trailing by 210 runs, and we've got Azhar Ali and Babar Azam at the crease. But today, once again, belonged to Jimmy Anderson because he is on wicket number 599. Yes, he's only one wicket away, and this would have been sooner had he had any kind of support from the slips and the fielders. But that was not meant to be. It's still a tremendous achievement, and he's still got one more day. Fingers crossed, if it doesn't rain, he has the opportunity to reach that milestone. And remember, he will be the first seamer ever in the history of cricket to be getting 600 wickets. So congratulations to him in advance. I'm sure at some point he'll be reaching that milestone. If it's not against Pakistan, it will perhaps be in the next test, whenever that may be. I've got Monty Panesar here with me. Monty, Pakistan is kind of hanging around. When you look at the score line at this point of time, it's 100 for 2. The scorecard reads as 100 for 2. Azhar Ali is like we spoke about him. It seems like he's getting his confidence back. He is spending a lot of time on the crease, and then you've got Babar Azam with him. So firstly, from a Pakistan perspective, they're obviously playing for the draw.
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you for having me on your shows, Zainab, and they've got to play for a draw. But we look at Pakistan. Whenever one of their batsmen gets 100, they're able to sort of bat at least 100 plus overs. So I think we've got to be realistic with Pakistan. I think when they're having a good day with a bat, they can at least get up to the second new ball, and I think that's a good day. So putting that into perspective, they've only lost 2 wickets, and there's been about 50 odd overs. So they've done better than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, Azhar Ali has already played 92 balls at the crease in this innings. He scored 100 yesterday. I remember Mickey Arthur said that if Azhar Ali is hitting it to mid-on and mid-off, that means he's in good nick. And that's something that we saw from him today as well. Of course, he's only made 25 runs, but it's the amount of time he's sort of spent on the crease, really.
I think, yeah, and I think that technical adjustment of his front toe going straight down the wicket, so it allows him to hit the ball towards mid-on and mid-off. Normally he just plants his foot with the line of the ball and he gets trapped LB. So I think he's able to sort of align himself slightly better. And it's interesting, it's funny to see with all sort of great players, when they know that they've only got 2 test matches to go before they get sacked, they ended up producing their best performances. And I think that shows a lot about Azhar Ali, his mental toughness, and how much he wants, to lead Pakistan and make this team into a successful team. He doesn't want to just, be remembered for, scoring runs. And I think if he can, develop this team into #1 test team in the world, then I think that he would be in that sort of one of the best captains, Pakistan has ever produced.
Yeah, and in terms of his batting, it's not like we haven't seen the best of Azhar Ali at any point of time. I mean, he's somebody who's got a double 100 at Melbourne. He's scored well in England as well previously. He's pretty much scored everywhere when you look at that record in tests. It's just that perhaps in the last few years, probably 2 years, we haven't seen that kind of performance from him. And that's primarily been after his knee surgery that we saw. He did well in Pakistan recently in that series against Sri Lanka. But how difficult is it for a batsman to be out of form and then, to come in and score 100 like that? How challenging is it, mentally?
Yeah, I think mentally, sometimes when you know that this is it for me, the pressure's on me, and if I get out, I'll probably get sacked as captain, and people question me about my test cricket as well, and that actually makes it a lot easier. You know the outcome. If I don't get any runs, this what will happen, and it actually takes that pressure off you. You don't put that extra pressure on yourself because you already have that kind of self expectation of knowing the outcome if I don't score the runs. And what it does, it actually helps you to just relax a little bit at the crease. You're not so, desperate to score runs. And that's what it appeared. He's appeared a lot more balanced at the crease. And I always seen Azhar Ali play really well. And one of his strengths is when that ball is just outside off stump and he plays, I think he's one of the best cutters in the game. And when he cuts that ball and his quick hands, that's when Azhar Ali's balance is absolutely spot on. And he did that a few times and, just uses his hands and cuts it, fiercely, behind point. So I thought that's when, Azhar Ali is, balance is good and he's batting like we know he can.
Well, good on him to be, coming back into form. Of course, there's a lot of questions around whether what kind of contribution that 100 is in the context of the series. But then, of course, considering the kind of pressure he was under especially from the Pakistan media, where there was lots of calls for heads and him getting axed. I think it augurs well for his personal growth. But coming back to the match, Jimmy Anderson, he's on wicket number 599. The fielders have definitely made it tough for him, but it seems like he's getting there.
Yeah, and actually. The wicket that he got 599 was actually one of them sort of balls where he just tries to get his fingers across it to bowl an outswinger, but actually he just sort of holds its line and cuts back in, and that's a skill that he's developed. Not many bowlers in world cricket can do. It's something that he's learned playing on slightly slower pitches and subcontinent conditions. And this was that type of wicket where the wicket kind of got slower and his field settings, that you can see both with Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson. They had some of their field settings, in front of square with the catchers. It just shows the contrast between the Pakistani and the England bowlers, that England bowlers just have these extra options of how to get wickets. And that was brilliant bowling just to show how good he is as a cricketer, that it wasn't just his normal way of an outswing, ball that he sort of balls during the corridor of uncertainty. It was actually a lovely sort of cutter, but disguised by getting the seam position, moving away. So he kind of like, kind of spins it, but, looks like it's swinging away, but it's going to actually cut back in.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose these are all tricks of the trade that you learn with experience, and he's played so many games. He's played all around the world. In comparison, from the Pakistan side, apart from Mohammad Abbas, who's got first-class experience and county experience, actually, Naseem Shah and Shaheen Shah haven't really played. I think Shaheen Shah has perhaps played only 3 first-class games. I mean, these guys were literally picked from the PSL and made to play in the test side. Having said that, of course, it's a long journey ahead for them, and they've certainly got the talent and the skills. So for Pakistan fans, that's at least one positive that's coming out of this series.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been a couple of players who've kind of shown a bit more of a resilient side of Pakistan cricket, which we haven't seen in the past. We tend to see Pakistan go really well and then they give up very easily. They must have been so tired on the field. And in this Test match, we've seen a different Pakistan team, which is actually saying,
yeah, where were we? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you were just talking about how what Pakistan bowlers have gained out of the series going forward.
Yeah, I think the Pakistan bowlers have probably learned that when the ball is swinging, they're able to, get that ball to swing and bowl in the areas, that sort of uncertain area, especially with the, Yasin Shah, who's
Naseem Shah. Naseem Shah.
Yeah, Yasin Shah.
No, Naseem.
Naseem, sorry, Naseem Shah, who his natural action is actually, to get that ball to seam in because of how his action is. And he's kind of like the way he got Joe Root out, just seaming it away. That's his wicket taking delivery, you know. So something for him to learn is, you know, I can bowl these quick seam it in, and then trying to just seam it away with the line of the ball. I think that's, you know, Naseem Shah's
Naseem,
natural,
yeah.
and you know, with Shaheen Afridi, who I think is a great prospect. He's probably, you know, has learned, you know, quite a bit just by watching how Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson go about their business. I think when the ball does swing, he, you know, he naturally bowls in that corridor of uncertainty. It's just when it doesn't swing as much, he's probably thinking, well, can I just get that ball to seam rather than swing? And that's something, you know, by watching the likes of Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, they can learn a lot from this tour.
And you know, finally, of course, because there was so much time that was lost because of rain and so many other interruptions. You know, we only got to see a certain period of play, but that one thing that has been established in this series is that England's fielding has been, their slip catching or catching has rather been poor. I mean, they've dropped 11 catches in the series. Why do you think that's happened? Where are they going wrong? And is it a case of you know, new faces in the slip cordon, which is really affecting, impacting their catching?
Yeah, very much agree with you. I think when you have new faces in the team, especially the, you know, the batting order, the you know, they're relatively inexperienced, and they're probably, you know, very much new to Test cricket. You know, the seeing the likes of catching a ball from Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, is, you know, for them it's a big deal. They're still very, you know, very young in terms of their experience in cricket. So, you know, sometimes it can be that overwhelming, you know, experience that they're thinking, well, we're on the same field as Jimmy Anderson, who's going to probably take his 600th Test wicket. It's for them, it's, you know, quite a big deal, and it's, well, so it should be. You know, these are young domestic players, and playing, you know, with some of the greatest cricketers, you know, England have produced. But then, you know, you've got to get over that barrier as well. You've got to think, right, you know, it's just a ball coming, it's an edge, and I've got to take a catch. And why am I not taking it? They're probably just snatching at the ball a bit more. And sometimes, you know, they need to, like, it's you know, England are known for being good slip fielders. So this is, I think, quite disappointing to see that they're dropping so many catches. But again, you know, they're still young, and I think Jimmy Anderson didn't say too much to them when they dropped, you know, so many catches, and it just shows, you know, that he's the great side of Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah, he only showed his frustration in his expressions, but he didn't really say anything to them. And it'll be a shame if tomorrow is completely washed out and rained out, because he'll be stranded on 599 wickets. And the forecast right now is that it's not looking good for tomorrow. So not too sure how that's going to go. I hope we do get some play, because we do want to see cricket. And, you know, it's been tough to just get the series together, get teams in here. So it's just so important to have a full day's play. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Monty. It was a pleasure having you. And let's see how tomorrow goes.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for having me on your show.